And now here's part 2 to building business credit with Sharita Humphrey.
You have your personal credit because we talked about that. That's FICO. But did you guys know that there's also a there's a FICO FBSS? That's your FICO score for your business, and that is what the SBA uses to be the pre-approval process to see if you are if your particular business will have to go through a manual underwriting. Let me tell you something, for anybody who's ever went through manual underwriting, especially for those who are listening that are homeowners, we know that manual underwriting is a beast. So imagine it on the personal side. Yeah. And one of the things I'm going to tell you guys is, especially if you're going to be signing up and you know that you're going to use that SBA product through NAV, is they are going, anybody who owns 25% or more of the business and of that business, they're going to pull their personal credit as well. So Keisha and I are in business. We're partners. Keisha could have an 800 and I have a 520. This may stop this may stop us from being able to get access to that SBA loan or other products.
That's what you mean by becoming bankable.
That's why we just said the personal and the business credit go hand in hand. But the 3 top ones that I would say is making sure that you sign up for nav.com. They normally take about 60 to 90 days to report. It is worth the wait. Okay. Continue to allow that to build, because once you build that, that's going to help you to get to the paydex score that you need. For Dun & Bradstreet, that is about an 80. If you hang around in Dun & Bradstreet past an 80, you're just trying to get kudos and points like the 800 credit score. Just get the 80 and keep moving. The one that matters the most once you establish that business credit is going to be Experian. Experian's credit score is called the Intellis score. They go from 0 to 100. Once you get to about 70, that is when you can kind of start to think about moving up a little higher, and those are going to be tier 2. I always tell people, don't manage at the minimum. Try to get that score as close to 80 as well, because guess what? It's just like personal credit, business credit scores, it fluctuates. So you don't want to be into the position where you're at 70 1 month or 1 quarter and now you're back in the 60s because now you look like a high risk to a vendor or a banking institution or a micro lender. So that's why I said we want to start with making sure we establish all 3. But one of the things is what's our base goal is to get to 80 with Dun & Bradstreet, 70 with Experian, and then of course Equifax. Fewer people report to Equifax, but there's still one that you want to think about. So the three that we're going to start with for those who are in tier 1 is where we're going to go to our nav.com. There is a promo code that I will give Keisha that will save you 20% monthly. So I believe in not only teaching you how to do things, but how to be able to put some money back into your budget, your business budget. So I will make sure that I share those codes with her. Then you also want to look at making sure that you kind of round it out, because to move from tier 1, you need 4 things reporting to Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet, and Experian. I would really focus on Dun & Bradstreet and Experian. Let NAV kind of be the thing that you're focused on when it comes to Equifax, because they're the least that vendors tend to pull out. So that's why I said our goal is to move. Remember, go to 80 with Dun & Bradstreet. Focus on Experian because they are a industry giant when it comes to not only personal credit but also business. So we're going to run through the 3 really quickly, Keisha. We're going to make sure we sign up for NAV, nav.com, and I'll make sure you get that promo code. And then number 2 is we want to look at things like Quill. Okay. Quill is going to report. And so we want things that are going to report and report positively. So we're going to go to NAV, Quill.com. We want to look at Uline and also Granger. The reason why I said those is because that's 4. Remember, we said we at least want 4 to 5 reporting. If you want, you can add a gas card. One of the things that I am seeing, because business credit has become sexy, remember, now everybody wants to get a business credit. You used to be able to get Home Depot right out of the gate. Home Depot went to 1.5 to 2. They're like, no, ma'am, you can't just be getting in this thing and coming right here and starting over. No, so shout out to Home Depot, but they're just like, no. What they're seeing, and the reason why is because, you know what? We always have, Keisha's always talking about it. She's always saying this. It only takes one apple to spoil it for everybody, for the whole bunch. And so that's what's happening. So many people have come over there, and they have kind of disturbed the marketplace when it comes to building business credit. So now these vendors and creditors are pulling back. And so that's why I say to you, we have to, as small businesses, because this is our way to be able to get access to funding, is to educate you use this platform that Keisha brings experts to, but make sure that you're not only applying this information, but sharing it with your counterparts, because it makes it harder for new businesses when they're coming in, or it makes it even harder for the more established, because we're doing it the right way. And then we have others who coming in and not paying these creditors. So it makes their lending practices a lot tighter, or they stop to lend to new businesses altogether. So that is why I say to you, make sure that you do this. I'm going to leave you guys. I always like to make sure I leave with some gems. One of the things that if you're a new business and you are trying to get a business credit card, make sure that you know your business. Make sure you know that personal, because if you have an established personal relationship with American Express, they're amazing. Because guess what? Most of the time, if you're already doing good business on the personal side, when you apply for that new business credit card with American Express, normally it's a soft pull. I'm going to say normally, because we always have to use disclaimers, because of course they're going to still look at your profile. But for someone who has been a great American Express client, they are the one that's not going to pull the personal credit, and they only pull from Experian. So that continues to help preserve your credit while you're still having access to credit. Although, disclaimer, they do not report, but it allows you to have more buying power, so you're not using your own personal credit. Another one is a Capital on Tap. So you can go to capitalontap.com. They are another fintech product that is disturbing the marketplace. They're based in the UK, but they have a very strong presence here, and they will work with a business who has been established for at least 12 months. The great thing is, again, they don't require financial statements. They don't require all of these upfront things, but guess what? They're going to do a soft pull on your Experian credit report, personal credit report. So this is why I keep telling you guys that it's important not to negate your personal credit, because most of my clients are getting between $10,000 and $50,000. And guess what? They are one of the ones who will be doing reporting. So this is why it's important to preserve your personal credit. Lastly, you guys have seen me. I talked about it earlier in this year. I think we helped across the country, small businesses get almost access to $4 million worth of business credit, and that's through Divvy, DIVVY. You can go to divvypay.com. They are another fintech product that is geared to be able to help small businesses get access to credit. They have a little bit more of a underwriting process, but I will make sure that I give this information over to Keisha, so that way she can share it with you guys, all the steps and what you need. So that way, when you submit that application, your application process time won't be as strenuous as others, because I'm going to tell Keisha exactly what you guys need. Lastly, one of the things that I want you guys to really, really think about and to know is when you're applying for those gas credit cards, it is amazing to be able to get those gas credit cards. But again, they're another one who is pulling back a lot of their generous lending when it comes to certain things. And one thing that I do want you guys to think about is if you have been denied, and this is no shade to them, just kind of throw those out there, because these are ones that our office tends to hear: your Shells, your BPs, or your Exxon Mobils, or your Chevrons. I would kind of steer away from using and paying deposits to have those cards. That means that you haven't established business credit the right way if they're asking for a deposit. So what I would do is look to A to B, and it's A TEOB.com. They are another gas fintech product that I'm loving, and so is my clients. So I give you guys things that I know that's going to be able to help you, especially because when we're small businesses, depending on what industry you in, I have a lot of clients that are in trucking. Of course, they don't want to keep having to use their own personal credit. They want to be able to get some, and even for those who are not in industries like that, even as entrepreneurs, we're driving for meetings, we're meeting people, we're networking, we're meeting our clients. You want to do that on the business thing, on the business side of things, and not have to impact that. So A to B is another great gas.
ATOO.
ATOB.com. Love them. They have some great customer service. They love to be able to help small businesses. They are disturbing the marketplace. They are giving their counterparts like your WEX banks and all of these other Chevrons and Shells, they're giving them a little run for their money, because small businesses, they want to be able to help you to keep the money in your pocket so you can grow your business, so that way you can continue to invest that bit in growing your business from a gas perspective. So they are amazing. So that's tier 1. Once you have those, we're going to run through tier 2 really quickly. I am a tier 2. This what you said, this is how you know you've kind of arrived when it comes to business credit. Is let Keisha's work with me. I'm the same person whether I'm on.
It don't matter.
I'm the same way.
Don't get the real.
Yeah. So I like to be able to keep finances fun. I keep business fun, because guess what? This journey is already complex and can be very difficult. So I definitely want to be someone who you can reach out to and know that you're going to get the real information from somebody who's doing it themselves. I take you guys on a journey with me, so I can tell you, when you get to tier 2, it will be all worth the hard work, and it doesn't have to take long. Some of my clients have started with me in April, and they now have access to over $100,000 or $200,000 or almost $1 million worth of business credit. It doesn't have to take long. If it's taking 2, 3, 4 years, then something's wrong in the blueprint of building it. So we definitely need to be able to talk about that. When you get to with tier 2, one of the great things is that's when, depending on if you're in real estate, if you're trying to build your own office at home, is that you get access to your Floor & Decors, your Home Depots, your Best Buys. You get access to Amazon 55. Shout out to Amazon, because let me tell you something. Amazon 55 saves a business, okay? Because that means, and let me explain to you why that happens. For all of those who need equipment, now that we're working at home, we're working more remotely, or even for those who are working in their office, the Net 55 through Amazon gives you that. It's net 55. So you have up to 55 days, which I would not allow. I would not say wait to day 55 and to pay, because remember, on the business side, it's not like the personal side. It's how quickly can you pay. You don't want to pay too fast, because when you do that, you look like a cash balance. So it's not reporting, but you don't want to pay too slow, because then it could negatively impact your business credit. So you want to know what the secret sauce is. And to kind of just let you guys know, I'm going to put y'all all up in your business. I hope the people that are watching this, who are in this and this is their bread and butter, this is for us to be able to tell them, because it's not going to stop you from getting clients. Really educate them on what the process is, because then you can take them on continue to build the path. One of the things that I always say is to order at a certain period. The best time to order when you're doing stuff, especially when you're in the lower tier, like I just mentioned, is between the 20th and the 25th of every month, and you pay it back on between the 5th and the 8th of the next month. This helps you to avoid paying too early, and it helps you to avoid paying too late. And then this is when you'll get that reporting more frequently, because you'll see consistently reporting, and you'll be rewarded later and throughout the 3 business credit tiers. So with that, I done gave y'all a whole lot. I'm putting y'all out.
Hold on. I want to make sure that they get that. Order between the 20th and the 25th and pay your bill
the next
month between the 5th and the 8th. Come on now.
If it's a net 30 account. It's a net 30 account. For your ones who are more of the net 55, then of course those you have a longer term to pay. But you still want to I always tell people, kind of bump that up and kind of adjust those rates when you're dealing with Amazon, because guess what? Amazon can help us get access to a lot of things that we need, equipment, cameras, all of the lighting, all of the things, and you're not having to turn around and pay right then. You give that thing and it builds your credit, and they do report. The good thing about it is that for those who are new, I'm going to give y'all something. For those who are new, when you sign up for Amazon and you have a Prime account, a lot of times what they will do when they see that they see a new business registered is they will give you an Amazon Net 30 account. So the Net 30 account does not report. The only one that reports is the Net 55. But the Net 30 still is great because guess what? It's not being impacted on your personal side,
credit,
and it kind of still gives you a little bandwidth and cash flow each and every month because you're not having to pay for it right
immediately.
then.
Right.
So don't look at it as a negative. Sometimes certain things not reporting can actually help you because it gives you more buying power until you can get to the step and be able to show them that now they can trust you and your business to be able to extend those things that do report. So I tell you all the goodness. If I opened up my wallet back there, or y'all go to my house, because me and my husband have multiple businesses, we have business credit for all of them. We don't commingle them. You know why? Because we want to make sure that we can establish those businesses and ensure that they are running on their own and that they that they are bankable. And if we need lines of credit, which we've already the new business that I have, this B2B and B2G, we are already established. I didn't start building that business credit until April, y'all. It has a 93 with Experian. I've got an 80. I told you I leave Dun & Bradstreet where they 80. I'm not trying to be a high achiever. This is not the personal credit. I came in, got what I needed, and kept moving. But one of the things, it feels so great to be able to keep clients like Keisha and others that's across this country really be able to turn those business reports over at the end of a quarter or at the end of the year, and they're not trying to scramble and go through, I had to go when I'm looking through my banking statement, wait, okay, was that for personal or was that for business? They already have everything separated. So that is, and let me tell you something, your CPA, bookkeeper, and accountant will love you for this. And you know what? Remember, you're being charged not just because of your taxes, but the amount of cleanup or work that they have to go through when your books are over here, you got some over here, you're dealing with some personal stuff over here. When you can actually separate those things, it saves you time and money over the long term, but it also gives you access to certain things that you would never believe, because a lot of times we are buying things with our personal credit that business credit will allow you to be able to purchase and not have to pay for right then, but you are rewarded later on because now you've got you've got what you needed on OPM, you pay it back and you're rewarded because now you can go to your you can go to your traditional bank after you've been in business long enough and you can ask for that line of credit. Let me tell you guys, the first time I walked into Chase, you're talking to someone who came from homelessness, from nothing, to be able to build here and be able to sit here. I did not get here from anybody who's watched the journey. Keisha was watching me before this. I truly built this business by educating myself, executing, implementing, and then executing. I can tell you, once you continue those steps and you have a blueprint, it will allow you to build. The new business is only a little bit, it's not even 2 years old. When I walked into the bank and talked to my banker last week, he called me, y'all. Let me tell you something. From somebody where the bank used to call me because I had insufficient funds.
Come on, let's keep it all the way.
You got to keep it all the way 100, okay? I was just like, for somebody, and no shade to Bank of America, because I like y'all now, but y'all had denied me when I was trying to get my life together. You ain't got to cut that part out, Keisha. But I'm just letting y'all know, because I don't want people to watch this and think, oh, wait, well, she already had it together.
Didn't.
Honey, I was denied for a secured personal business credit card by Bank of America. I'm not upset with Bank of America. I'm just telling you guys what my journey was. So to be able to now go into, and now the bank calls me, I'm just minding the business that God pays me.
Come on.
I was minding the business that God pays me. He called me and was like, hey, Miss Humphrey. He was just like, how are you doing? Just wanted to see if we can get you in. That call felt different when it was calling from the banker and not collections.
Hold on, you already can tell by the voice.
Because when it's collections, y'all, for those who were okay to keep it real, when they call from collections, they just say, "Hi, can I speak to Sharita Humphrey?" They don't even.
It's not how you doing.
They don't ask you how your day is, but when it's a positive banking relationship, they call, "Hey, how you doing? We haven't seen you in the bank. Can we get you to come out here? When can we set you?" But when I came there, guys, I tell you this, and I wanted to give you guys a little of that story. When I said, when we got to stop going into the bank and thinking small.
Come on.
Because back then I was thinking small. He's like, well, how much do you need? And I was like maybe like $40,000. He looked at me like I was, is that it?
Is that it? Really?
He said to me, you know, this is the bank, right? So we got to stop going in there with low expectations. And I say that to you because guess what? I was thinking about right then, but the bank was looking at me long term.
Yeah.
So we got to start thinking as our banking relationship, not about what we need right now, and stop borrowing what we think we need right now, because I see that too. And I explained that to Keisha and my clients.
Come on.
We go and borrow money, or we get credit cards, and they ask us, well, how much were you looking for? Well, what's happening in your business?
What you
and you telling them
now.
what you need right now. So instead of you getting $16,000 or $60,000, you got $6,000 because you were operating in what you try to deal with and what's coming through right now, not thinking about what I told you, securing the decade, and wondering, okay, so if I really need 30, maybe I need to ask them for 80, that way I can pay myself, because I don't care if you making $8,800 or $800,000, you need to be paying yourself in the business, because of operating business means that you put the business, because let me tell you something, it is no business that's running unless you are a nonprofit, and they are yet still a business. So don't get that twisted. You really may need to make sure that you're setting something aside, not only to be able to safeguard the business, but to make sure that you can safeguard your own your first line of business, and that's your household. One of the things I want you guys to think about is when you're establishing business credit, think about it as a journey. Am I going to need a line of credit? Because guess what? I was like, okay, in the beginning, I was like, I just need $30,000 or maybe $40,000. And when he said, well, based on what we see here, why didn't you ask me for $250,000?
Right.
He was just like, because it's how far is $30,000 going to take you?
Yeah.
When you get
you're thinking at the very moment
instead of not even thinking about 6 months from now, who do you need to hire? Because a lot of times we can't get things done, and we're not building business.
We're trying to do it all by ourselves.
But let me tell you something. If you had business credit and you had access to a line of credit or a business credit card, guess what? You can hire a part-time VA. You can put somebody on payroll. And let me tell you, guys, for somebody say, well, how am I going to do that with business credit or with a credit card? Let me go ahead and shout out Plastic for you guys. This is not paid or anything like that, but guess what? Plastic allows you to pay people with your credit card who normally don't pay credit card. So, and that's Plastic. It's Plastic, but instead of the C, it's a Q. So you can go to plastic.com and look at all of the things that you're able to do. So now you can put yourself in a position to be able to delegate, to expand your business, all while using business credit. So if you really start and map out your business before you start applying, then you will know how to implement and execute. So when you get there, you can continue to make yourself bankable. So when you get ready to walk into your JP Morgan Chase banks, and you walk into your Wells Fargo, your Navy Federal, or your banking that's in your local city, now you're attractive to them.
Yeah.
Now
and they'll actually start coming after you. Because I didn't got a couple things in the mail, and I'm like, nah, I know daggone well. I don't know what they sending this to me for. But you know.
But we're not used to it.
Right.
But what you said, once you get there, it's a whole new, like they said, what's the thing? It's a whole new world. And and let me tell you something, for those who are small businesses and you have make it your business, I want everybody who is watching this young lady's show to make it your goal. If you don't have a business banker, if no one, when you walk in, my whole thing was, I saw years ago when I saw Mr. Williams, he had I know he was coming from a golf thing because he was ready for golf, and everybody walked in and they turned around and said, hi, Mr. Williams. And I was way back there by the door trying to get in. And I'm like, what is he doing that I'm not doing? So guess what I did? I made it my business to find out. They said he come in here every month to talk to us. So guess what's on my calendar every quarter? I go sit down and I talk to my banker, or I shoot them a quick email. What is happening or what business products have I missed? Because sometimes we will bank with an institution and never know what's going on because we're so used to banking from our phones or from our tablets or from our desktops. But real relationships and real money and real wealth is built by movement. So that means you got to get up and get out. and really be able to find out information. Make it your business to continue to educate yourself on it. Create 8 streams of income and not 8 jobs. Do the one thing for the next 6 to 12 months that's going to allow you to build business credit, get you access to funding, but ultimately expand your ecosystem. Because let me tell you something, there is a difference between having a network in an ecosystem, because your ecosystem is your banker, because the underwriter doesn't know you. They've never met you. You're an application flow. But guess what? Your banker can say, oh no, I know where their business is going. I know that if you give them this, that they're going to turn it into other products.
And that's all based on the relationship.
The relationships.
In order to build that money, it requires movements. And I love that you touched on like building the relationships, because it's so important that we actually realize you don't want to be a small business all your life.
Right.
Like the goal is actually to start out as a small business,
right,
but be able to grow into your own chase, your own empire. But you can't do that without building the relationships, and you can't build relationships if you're not even going into the bank to actually know who the banker is.
Yes.
Just saying.
Because a lot of people don't know that they can get access to loans.
Right.
The SBA has been giving loans prior to the PPP
right.
and the EDIL, but a lot of small businesses have no idea. I was just clue. This is not new, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely want you guys to really make sure to education, knowledge, and data is capital.
Yeah. Okay.
It is capital. And if you are not sure where to go, I write, and I'm a contributing writer for the National SBDC. If you go to the National SBDC website, go to the search bar, you can see all the articles that I've written this year. Those are things that is targeted and speaking directly to small businesses, especially minority businesses. I want you guys to really get into a situation where we're not planning for next year.
Come on. Come on. And look, let me say, this is something that you said really great, though. The reason why I knew I wanted to hire her when I met her a year and a half ago. Okay. It's like, when my money get right, I'm going straight to Sharita. But the reason why is because, number one, she keeps it 100% real. And what she's saying, she's lived herself.
Right.
She's been able to educate herself, implement herself in order to execute properly. So then she's teaching us how to do it. So I loved how she even taught me, like in the beginning, when I started all of this, the beginning of the year, the first thing she said to me, I know you're not spending your own money doing this. And I was like, well, actually I am. Keisha. No, ma'am. No, so we're going to have to change that. Right. That was the first thing. And I was like, well, I'm investing in me because I believe in what I'm doing. She said, but we're going to do that through OPM. And I was like, well, goodness gracious.
OPM.
Other people's money. She was like, don't you go and get another place paying out of your pocket.
Right.
And honestly, with working with her, I've been able to build relationships where I have corporate sponsorships.
Come on.
Being able to, come on, let me tell you. And by the way, this show is actually sponsored by, thank you, Chris Senegal. We're going to show you his place in just a moment. Today's show is sponsored by Stevens Court, a modern flex space rental available for rent on Peerspace. Whether you are hosting a corporate meeting outside of the office or an intimate gathering for family and friends, this remodeled 100-year-old home provides a historic touch in the heart of Houston. Schedule your event today. But truthfully, I actually have corporate sponsorships and multiple with hotels being able to sponsor my show. So now I know not to go in my own pocket,
right,
but utilize what she has taught me, implementing that. Y'all get it? Executing.
Right.
And not Candidly Coach K got her show corporately sponsored. Hashtag, y'all get that? But, I say it in joking, but I truly mean it. I'm actually utilizing everything that she's taught me. So you better take all these gems that she has left clearly on this table and apply them.
Yeah.
And I know some of y'all be saying, what's she talking about getting to a 700 credits? I'm not there yet. It's possible to get there in 6 months.
Right.
It just requires you choosing to be dedicated to it. And if you need some help, Sharita, let them know how they can contact you.
So for those who are needing a little bit more help when it comes to consumer things, you can go over to SharitaMHumphrey.com. Make sure you join my free Facebook group. It's called the Money Mindset Movement. One of the things you guys keep seeing that I keep talking about, movement is key. I am teaching people how to create their own path to wealth. If you desire to be a financial trailblazer, you can do it. You can break the cycle that is continuing to keep you and your family out of lack. Because one of the things is knowledge will keep us in lack, but once we have knowledge and apply it, then we can create wealth. So if you are someone, and I'm going to close with this because I'm going to tell Keisha, because of course my clients have been hearing me say stuff. I won my first government contract with my new company. That's why I said, y'all, I'm saying I'm going to create wealth and I'm going to secure this decade. I'm going to come back to Keisha's show in 2029 because now it's going to be, she's going to have 50 corporate sponsors by the end of this decade, all in the same year sponsoring this show. So I'm going to come back at the end of this and I would have amassed $100 million off of OPM because I'm going to execute. I know what my end goal is and I want to be able to help other people. Everybody's path to wealth won't look the same. My number is going to be different from your number. But if we continue to be able to create wealth in our own, then we can dispel and break and make new narratives to what the government and to what other people are saying about black and brown people, but especially for black people, that there will be no wealth. So I want you guys to make sure that you continue to follow this young lady, because she's creating a path to wealth through messaging, knowledge, but ultimately wealth, because what she's sharing is a mindset shift, and that's the first thing to wealth.